Hello everyone, I'm Humaid Anwar and this is TLA Pakistan Innovation Hub Series. Welcome everyone to another episode of TLA Pakistan Innovation Hub Series. Today we are talking to our remote working guru. He has 20 years of experience in remote working and is still counting. For his amazing work, he has been recognized by British Interactive Media Association as UK Tech Trailblazer. So, people, I present to you Zoltan Vass. Hi, Zoltan. How are you doing?
Hi, Humera. I'm very well. And yourself?
I'm good. So, how are you managing with this pandemic and the corona situation that is spread it across the world?
So it's an interesting question. And so at the moment, in the beginning, as many other people, I believe I was pretty busy and I was reading the headlines and the news a few hours a day just to
Mm-hmm.
see what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a few just reading the headlines maybe once, twice a day, just to see what's
Mm-hmm.
going on and what's happening globally, all these new regulations. So I'm up to
Right.
speed, but I'm not really focusing on the details. So I'm focusing more on how can I make the most out of the current situation,
Mm-hmm.
and really focusing on pushing through and do something useful.
Yeah. So, how are you making this time useful? Can you just give us a little guideline about it?
You mean how I'm making the most out of the current situation?
Yes. Yes.
So the whole situation, so remote working is a big part of my professional career. So I was managing
Mm-hmm.
large development teams in the past, and I was doing digital transformation projects as well remotely.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed, as I mentioned, a lot of people. And I was my first job was around troubleshooting remotely,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have a lot of experience around like remote working remotely and
Mm-hmm.
working remotely with people. And so for me, the current situation is nothing new, working from home and working flexibly. So I'm really productive. I have a
Mm-hmm.
daily routine, how I approach my day, and it
Right.
really helps me to like to go through everything and be
Mm-hmm.
just really productive and deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Zoltan, I was just going through your profile and you have like 20 years of experience and you have worked with like very diversified and big organizations like Oracle, Mayor of London, and there is a Bima Association as well you have worked with.
Yes.
I just really like to know how did you begin this all? I mean, remote, if you just talk about remote working and it's so old, like 20 years ago, it is not really a concept. It is not really still a concept. Like after COVID-19, people just started to realize that we can work remote. How did
Yes.
you all begin it? What were, in which area you have taken education? How do you support your client? How do you reach to your client? How you all set up this all thing for you?
Yes. So, and so I'm an IT engineer and a project manager by
Mhm.
profession.
Mhm.
And my first job was I was an IT engineer as a project manager at municipality of Bachka Topola. So that's
Okay.
my hometown.
Mhm.
And then I moved to London in 2012. So all this
Okay.
remote working and remote troubleshooting, I believe whoever works in the IT, digital and tech,
Mhm.
they are doing this on a daily basis, whether it's
Right.
communicating online or different tools or troubleshooting online.
Right.
So many people are already doing this, and
Mhm.
I do believe the current situation just helped a lot of companies and people actually to realize that they can work from home or they can work
Mhm.
from anywhere, basically, because if they have the skills and if they have the discipline to deliver,
Mhm. Mhm.
then you can do your job from anywhere, from any country. And that's the beauty of this.
Right. So how you started it all? When did you start, and how you go step by step, that how you have built your career into this?
So I started my career professionally in 2006, when
Mm-hmm.
I officially become an IT engineer, when I graduated. That's where
Mm-hmm.
I started. So before that, I was doing bits and pieces here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I mentioned, I was an IT engineer. Then I was doing a lot of troubleshooting. So I was responsible for the municipality's head office, and I was managing 7 remote offices. So it
Mm-hmm.
means that we had small towns and villages around my hometown, and I was troubleshooting and upskilling people who
Mm-hmm.
needed to learn more about tech and digital.
Right.
And then when I moved to London in 2012, I worked at the Dorchester. So there was a lot of around IT troubleshooting again, via phone, via different tools, systems. And then in 2015, I established my own business. It was a web development business. So I believe this was a bigger step towards working remotely.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a team in Serbia, and I was based in London. So I was looking after clients, doing business development,
Yeah.
project management, so everything, like on when it comes to the front sides of the business. And I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it because it was in the beginning, you have face-to-face contacts with the clients,
Yeah.
and then you build that trust and relationship, and it's a lot easier after that to manage the relationship
Mm-hmm.
via phone, via calls, via video calls. And everything just evolved
Mm-hmm.
because since I'm in tech and digital, in the web development and digital transformation space, everything can be done remotely. So, and I just ended up being in this position. And my former company where I worked
Mm-hmm.
last year, we had a large development team in Ukraine, and the head office was in the States. I was based in London, so we had a
Mm-hmm.
London office as well.
Wow.
And 99% I was managing everything remotely. So I had clients
Wow.
in Dublin, I had clients in Dubai, I had clients in Glasgow,
Mm-hmm.
so worldwide.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, just my career just really moved into the remote working and flexible space.
Oh, that's really nice. So, what do you suggest to other people who wants to build a career in remote working? So, do you have any kind of a specific plan to guide them? Any top tips, any pointers? If you can just dissect them into some of the points for the new people who
Yes,
wants to do.
yes, exactly. So this is something really, it's a really important question that you raise now, because as I mentioned, the tech and digital space is more advanced when it comes to remote and flexible working, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just the nature and the culture of the sector.
Of the
But when
sector,
it
yeah.
comes, for example, to the education sector,
Mm-hmm.
for them, they are a bit behind when it comes to online education, and it's a bit more difficult.
It's very
And that's why actually we established. Sorry.
it's very difficult because I'm a student right
Yes,
now. So I know that my teachers and all of the facilitators are having really hard time to deliver a lecture from Blackboard. So it is very difficult for them.
exactly, and that's why we found the Tech London Advocates remote working group, because
Uh-huh.
for me it's really important that we drive and shape the future of remote and flexible working. However, for me, it's not creating a big gap between people. So
Yeah.
we will talk about future of remote and flexible working, but there are still people who are struggling to work
So,
remotely,
yes.
and I we need to look after people and not to leave people behind us. And that's
Hmm.
why we created the Tech London Advocates remote working group, because
Yeah.
there we are looking to help people. So anybody can join the group, whether you
Mm.
are a really super experienced remote worker, or you're just starting and you are looking to
Mhm.
learn. So we are creating this hub so people can share their experiences and help each other. So this
Yeah.
is the main goal with this group, and to
Yes.
close that gap between people who are more experienced and less experienced in remote working.
Mm. Mm. Right. So, does your group provide specific kind of trainings and mentoring or any advisory service for the new upcoming remote workers who wants to become remote workers?
Yes, so the our objective and goal is to create, so we will have different channels, which
Mm-hmm.
means we will categorize everything. So when it comes to remote working, we need, internally, when there is a company, governance must be on place. People need to have discipline to deliver
Mhm.
whatever they are doing, they need to deliver, they need to
Mhm.
own their project, their work, and do it.
Mhm.
And mental health, mental fitness, this is
Mhm.
something
Mhm.
important as well, and future of
Mhm.
work,
Mhm. Mhm.
and cybersecurity. So we will categorize all these, and people can join us and they can learn from all these things. And we will share articles, we will categorize articles,
Mhm.
documents, and resources. So we really want to
Mhm.
create this hub where people can come join us and learn, ask questions, and upskill themselves, because it will be crucial, especially nowadays, because there are a lot of people who lost their jobs.
Yeah, true.
And so I'm always saying, guys, you need to keep learning and move towards digital and tech, because that's the future. That's our
Mm,
future. That
that's it.
shapes everything. And that's why we created that group. So in that group, there will be a lot more specific
Mhm.
topics
Mhm.
where we can touch on, because remote working is quite broad.
Uh-huh.
And but for me, really, it's all about governance when
Mhm.
we are talking about the company. So we need to have processes, clear processes,
Mhm.
discipline. I mean, it
Mhm.
comes down to the individual
Mhm.
mental fitness, that we are
Mhm.
mentally fit, so we are healthy, work from home or
Mhm.
flexibly, so
Mhm.
we get used to this,
Mhm.
and we learn about how the future of remote working and flexible working will look like. So
Yeah, right. You have mentioned like a very important point, like two important points. One is that people are losing jobs, and the other point that remote working is very vast. So right now, I'm seeing that people are very desperate because obviously they have lost their jobs. So they are applying to any available option. They are just doing anything that is available to them. And when it comes to remote working, as you have said, that it's very broad. It's a very wide world. So can you just help them, through this podcast, just give them like three or five any steps or tips for all those desperate people who have lost their jobs and they want to, rebuild their earning source, how they should do it?
so what I would suggest that so because like it's again it's a bit this question is a bit complex. So
Yeah.
let's say if you worked in hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
and if you let's say if you're lucky enough and you have a secondary skill, let's say you are interested in marketing, or you speak another language, or you have some technical skills or digital skills, then take there are lots of online free courses now. Take on a course, join a group such as Tech London Advocates, because you can meet some really great people there, and just keep investing and learn,
Mm-hmm.
and take on, whether it's an internship or apprenticeship, or take on a voluntary role,
Mm-hmm.
find a mentor, and just keep learning. So
Yeah.
if you have a secondary skill, that probably I would say you are lucky, because you can
Mm-hmm.
move, you can transition, you do the transition into digital space.
Mm-hmm.
If you, let's say, just have, you are just a, let's say, sorry, don't get me wrong, not just let's say, like you have a skill that you are a professional bartender, let's say, but you don't
Yeah.
have a secondary skill, then probably it's a bit more difficult to move into the digital space.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still explore, because the current situation, I see that lots of companies, even within hospitality, bars, pubs, and restaurants, they will move to sell things online. So they will do a lot more delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So, like thinking around how we could, how I can change something and maybe sell something online, or contribute something. So it's really important that people will learn the basic skills, and
Mm-hmm.
what digital and technology means, and what they can offer,
Right.
because that can open up so many doors, but people
Mm-hmm.
need to be open and learn, and just
Yeah.
and it's crucial.
Right. That's a really good advice. So yeah, moving on to our next question. So what drives Zoltan Vass? What has this main thing that has Zoltan Vass keep going for 20 years and he's still going on? So please tell us your secret ingredient.
So it's an interesting question. I recently wanted to discuss this with few people, but we didn't manage to arrange a call. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to drive, many people are having, we all have the motivation, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
we all have.
sometimes we don't. Motivation comes and goes, right? And sometimes we feel, like like sometimes I lose my mojo, I lose my
Yeah.
motivation.
It's kind of an
So
adrenaline rush. It comes and goes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But what I learned that when you burn out, then you lose your motivation, you lose everything, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And but in the current situation and generally, I'm not allowing myself to burn out and burn out for weeks or maybe for months, or you never
Mm-hmm.
know, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I always trying to manage my energy, and I have discipline and determination to deliver. So even
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not motivated or I lost my mojo, I
Mm-hmm.
still I have the discipline to sit and push through and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a key thing, because if I step back and if I hesitate and if I think and if I wonder, then it's just a distraction, and you're
Mm-hmm.
losing your time and energy. So
Yeah.
that's a key thing for me when it comes to to my drive. So beside this, family and friends, they're motivating me, and it's I have really good
Mm-hmm.
relationship with them. People around me, I'm trying to surround myself with genuine people, which is
Yeah.
really great. And I'm doing sports. I'm doing Muay Thai now for
Mm-hmm.
almost a year and a half continuously, and I have a great
Mm-hmm.
coach. I also have a business and mindset coach for almost 3 years now. So all these small things and bits and pieces helps a lot to keep going and not to
Mm-hmm.
stop and step back. So
Yeah. So this really pushed me to ask you one thing, that how do you get that discipline? Because I have observed that people who have former arm training or something like that, only they could have this kind of a discipline that they push themselves and keep on track. So how do you get that discipline?
I wasn't like this all the time, actually. So when I started my business back in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
I was working from home and I worked from one room. So in one room, that was my office and where I lived.
Yeah, yeah.
And so in the beginning, I was working from the bed. I was working on from pajamas, and
Mm.
you have the space, and then
Yeah,
you're doing this, you are doing that, you're doing,
yeah.
maybe you're working
Mm.
half an hour a day.
Mm.
So, but at some point, you need to realize that you're just not delivering, right? You're not productive. You're
Yeah,
not doing
yeah,
basically anything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you need to start to build up your daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
how you build up the discipline that, for example, my daily routine is that I'm waking up in the morning, usually around
Mm-hmm.
6, half 6,
Mm-hmm.
and then thinking through my day,
Uh-huh.
which is thinking through what are my top 3 priorities, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where my energy and full focus goes.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm doing 3 times 50 push-ups, for example, every
Wow.
morning.
Wow.
So that boosts my energy level, because
Yeah.
I'm not drinking caffeine, and it just helps me mentally a lot. So I'm not getting exhausted. I'm just
Ah,
boosting myself.
you're boosting yourself.
And then yeah, exactly. So then I'm having regular 5-10 minute breaks in every hour and a half,
Uh-huh.
2 hours. So it
Uh-huh.
really depends how I feel. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
having a nap, 20,
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes nap, not
Mm-hmm.
more, in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon, if I
Okay.
feel. And that
Okay. Okay.
again, helps me to reboot myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the day, I'm relaxing. I'm doing Muay Thai, as I mentioned. I'm coloring
Mm-hmm.
an adult book, listening to
Mm-hmm.
music. So, and recently I
Mm-hmm.
started meditating again before I
Okay.
go to bed. So that just helps me to calm down my mind.
How are you surviving without caffeine? I think it's very hard.
Easy, easy. I really, it's interesting. I mean, like, people are always asking me, how do you survive?
Yeah,
And
even I know
I
there are
just
some
learned.
people. There are some people who live without salt and sugar. They haven't tasted salt and sugar in their life because they say it's a white poison, and if you have it, it drain out all your energy. And I just ask them how you live with it, how you live with it. So how you do it without caffeine?
Well, with the caffeine, it's really about managing energy, and that's a key thing, because and it works very well for me. So I'm happy to recommend the book. It's called The Power of Full Engagement,
Mm-hmm.
which is talking about you need to manage your energy and not your time. It's I for me, it's
Uh,
managing both energy and time.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That's a key thing for me. And once you learn that, how to manage your energy and time, then it's easy.
Yeah.
And all these small daily routines and habits just helps you
Mhm.
to deliver.
Yeah. That's really nice. I think I should read that book.
Yes, definitely, I can
Yeah.
highly recommend that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so moving on to our next question. Zoltan, you said that you have worked with companies all across the globe. You have managed team who are present across the globe, and you are sitting in London. So you must have very great communication skills. And you also must have a very difficult client in all these past 20 years of experience. How do you manage a difficult client, and what are the communication tactics that you can tell people that they could apply, and they could be succeeding or something?
Yes, so when it comes to communication, so this is so the skill of the future is a lot about soft skills. So
Mm-hmm.
having empathy, and as you mentioned, communication is crucial. So
Yeah.
again, learning how to communicate clearly
Mm-hmm.
and having that empathy when you're working with clients, difficult clients, and with difficult team members.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a lot about having an empathy and listening.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
a key thing. So when you have a really difficult client, then it's really important to understand why the client is difficult.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
there must be a reason, whether they are not happy with the result, whether they have some internal conflicts on
Okay.
their side, or just like it's really crucial to understand why the client is difficult. And when you get to the bottom of that, then you can start having a conversation and provide solution for that. And it's really important that when you crack that why the client is difficult, then it's really important that you discuss this with the team and with your team as well, so they understand why the client is difficult. So this is how you can build the trust and build a good relationship between the client and the team, basically. So it's really important for me. It's communication and building that relation, genuinely building that relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
genuinely being interested about the other person and why they are doing things on a way that they are doing so and behaving.
Yeah, right. So, how do you mainly land with clients? I mean, where do you search them, and how do you get connected with them? How do you propose them that I am this person and I can help you with your problem, and I can give you that solution? How do you do that?
So I'm not I'm not hard selling anything. I'm just having
Hmm.
conversation with people and see how can I help and how we can help each other.
Yeah,
Because there
right.
are situations where I can't help, right? I can't provide the solution
Yeah.
because I just don't have that skill set, or I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
right people or something, right? But I'm still just genuinely interested in connecting with people and just learn more about each other. And if we can work together on something, or if we can, like work on a project, or they really need my skills and the
Mm-hmm.
solutions that I provide, then it's fine. If not, then it's fine too. Then I'm always asking people, can I make any introductions that would be helpful for them? So I'm really trying to help, to genuinely help people. So for me, I never attend a call or a meeting with the aim, okay, now I have to sell and then I'm pushing
Yeah,
this. No, I'm just
right.
genuinely interested about how the other person or the company is doing, what are their challenges, what's going on. And that's like just having that genuine conversation without like trying to sell anything, because I don't believe in that.
Yeah. So, do you think that social media is a very good platform to reach out to people, or is it networking events, or is it referrals? Which is the most platform that has given you results in with when it comes to clients?
So networking definitely helps. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I can highly recommend. So people just go out there and connect with people and really just genuinely be interested, and arrange a call, have the discussion, have a conversation, learn about people. And that's the most important thing, because even from having a half an hour conversation with someone can help you to learn a lot of new things
Yeah.
and give you a new direction. And that's a key thing. So networking is really important, and Tech London Advocates, it's great for that. So
Uh-huh.
I'm really encouraging everybody to join the organization, because that's how I met you guys as well, and I'm grateful that I have this opportunity right now. So
Mhm.
it's really great. Really, just go out, talk to people, network, connect, learn, and listen, and be like respect everybody all the time. That's really important, and
Mm.
understand the other person's perspective.
Yeah, right.
That's really important. So just go out there and connect with people. So
Mm. That's awesome. So I have always been, you can say, a strong diversity inclusion advocate, and I have been working towards, a lot of things like women empowerment and women of different colors. You talk about technology, and you just say that technology is the future.
yes.
Where do you see women in it? Because we have seen that women are very less represented in tech fields. You have been working remote, and I think remote working is a heaven for all of the women across the world due to different reasons. What do you suggest? How do you see that? How women are represented in the field currently, and how we can make these numbers better as a remote worker all your life?
Yeah, so what I see that within the tech and digital, the numbers are improving,
Mhm.
and also because everything is moving to the digital space, I do
Yeah.
believe that having this, approaching this as a cognitive diversity,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a lot easier for people to connect in a digital space. Because if you, for example, let's say you're in Pakistan, you need to have a visa, and so it can be difficult to change countries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I
Right.
do believe that since everything is moving to the digital space, it will be a lot easier to connect and find those right opportunities
Mm-hmm.
within digital and tech. So I do believe these
Uh-huh.
numbers will increase. When it comes to other industries, that's something that I can't really comment what's going on there. But I
Uh-huh.
do believe that companies they need to open up and just embrace this cognitive diversity, because this gives really a lot more, like a lot of benefits to every company when there are people from different backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
different gender. It helps a lot. It creates it's a better team spirit and a better result. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that this digitalization will help to 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 it will help, like women.
Mm-hmm.
And because, like in the digital space, you don't have boundaries, you don't have
Yeah.
borders. So that's why, it will, I do believe it will help a lot.
Mhm. You are a UK tech trailblazer. Just tell us something about it. What is the story behind it? How do you become a trailblazer?
So it's an interesting story. So I was a member of the British Interactive Media Association,
Yeah.
and I reached out to the president at some point because I wanted to have a conversation with him, what's going on, and just you know just I really wanted to hear, like more about his experience and
Mm.
learn from him. It was really good, and then I just asked him if I can help with anything. And because I'm always having a pro bono role beside my
Yeah.
professional role,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and I just asked him if I can help with anything and if they need help. And they had actually a problem with their live website, and they needed
Uh-huh.
someone who manages that project.
Uh-huh.
So that's
Uh-huh.
how I came on board. And the issue was that there were 200 plus issues on the live website,
Oh,
and
okay.
I managed to turn that around.
Uh-huh.
And then that's why I have been named in the top 100 as in the tech trailblazer category.
Oh, wow. So the Virgin Media article is about the same thing, or is it different?
So the Virgin Media article is about my mentoring experience. So basically, I had a mentor. So as I
Okay.
mentioned earlier, for me, it's really important that I always, I constantly learning and keep learning.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I had a mentor, John Davy, who was the CEO of Zone Digital. It was the largest independent agency in the UK, which has
Yeah.
been acquired by Cognizant. And he was my mentor, and he helped me a lot around how to approach things, cultural differences, and the mentoring really helped me to learn new things. And I managed to increase my former company's turnover by 68.7%. in
Wow.
2017.
Right.
And that was, the article was about all about this mentoring experience. So from the mentee perspective.
Mhm, mhm. Wow, wow, that's very nice. So, you have mentioned about mentoring that you have been taking mentoring. Can you just tell us about how mentoring is important and why you should take mentoring and at what career stage you should start to have a mentor and how to reach a mentor? Very important. Yes.
So I would say having a mentor, you can have mentor at any age. It's really
Mm-hmm.
important. So, and it's important that your mentor is, it can be, like usually it's better if the mentor is more experienced than you are.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And that's really important. And then actually when it comes to, let's say when it comes to remote working and there is this remotely onboarding people,
Mm-hmm.
it really helps that the newcomer is having a mentor. So that mentor can be even a colleague who is
Mm-hmm.
basically holding the newcomer's hand.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
it
Okay.
really helps to build that relationship and make sure that that new person is properly onboarded and
Mm.
she or he can ask questions anytime. Because
Yeah.
in a virtual space it can be, like sometimes it can be a bit difficult, but if
Yeah.
there is a person that who you can, like contact at any time, it really
Mm.
helps to create a relationship and help that
Right.
person to
Yeah.
come on board. So,
Yeah.
and when it comes to reaching out to mentors, again, I would say just network and connect with people, because you need to have some kind of connection as well with your mentor, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really important. So just go out, talk to people. And for me it was, I just realized that that person could be my mentor actually, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
reached out to him. So that's how it worked for me. So it's just, like going into conversations. If you know that you want to have a mentor, then there are different organizations you can reach out to
Mm-hmm.
them, and
Mm-hmm.
just, like talk to these people who are open to be mentors. And then you
Yeah.
will see whether you are both confident into going into this mentor and mentee relationship, because it's really
Uh-huh.
important as well that you
Right.
have, you know you will feel it, and it's important that you have that good relationship.
Yeah. What
And that
was
can actually help, sorry, and
no, no,
actually
that's
that
okay.
can help your career a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right. What was the landmark moment of your life, or is it still to come?
I do believe, like we have landmarks, in every x years, right? So
Yeah, yeah. What
if
is the
I
biggest
look
moment of
back
your life
now,
that has defined
if
you,
i
that
if i
has,
look back
give
now,
you
so
light?
yes, so definitely I moved to London in 2012. That was one
Mhm.
of the landmark moments. Then my sadly my mom became ill recently 2 years
Oh,
ago,
okay.
so that
Mhm.
was a landmark moment. And then recently Jen McGinley introduced me to Rush Shaw, who is the founder of Tech London Advocates,
Uh-huh.
and
Mhm.
then I founded the Tech London Advocates remote working group.
Mhm.
And for me this is really something that, I can say that this drives me as well, because this is my
Mhm.
passion, and this is where my expertise is, and I just really enjoy doing this and help
Mhm.
people. So this is, when it comes to landmark moments, I would say these are the recent ones from the past 8 years.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice. You seem like a very happy and content person to me. You're happy in whatever you are doing. You are happy at this point of your
Thank you.
life. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I just really like to ask, what are some of the top tips that you want to give people that, or sorry, not the top tips, just leave it out. Some of the lessons that you have learned from your life, from your mistakes, and from the position that you are in today. Why you think that you are in this position today, in this very happy and contained and successful self of yours?
So I would say there are a few things. So one is always raise your concerns.
Uh-huh.
That's a crucial thing, because
Uh-huh.
I had a really bad experience in the past when I lost a client because I didn't raise my concern on time.
Okay.
So that's really important. So whenever you have a concern, just raise it, whether it's with your colleague, with your boss, just like speak up. And just open up and talk about your concern, because that can change many things in the future.
Mm.
The second thing is have the discipline and own everything. So own your life, own your project, own whatever you do, just because that's your responsibility, and
Yeah.
just take full responsibility for it. That's
Mm.
really important.
Mm.
And just as when you are a baby, when you fall, you get up. When you fall, you get up. So it's really
Yeah.
important that you bounce back and keep
Mm.
going. So keep pushing forward. So have the discipline. And this is, again, it's really important for me.
Mm.
And just keep learning and strengthen your resilience and
Yeah.
endurance. So this is important. So get a mentor, get a coach. So
Mm.
develop yourself. So self-development is really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say these are, I would say, key learnings that I could, like suggest to do.
That is, these are very inspiring, by the way. Zoltan, you are a very inspiring person, I guess, also.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this brings me to this end of this interview, and in the end I just really like to ask you, what is the end game of Zoltan Vass, where Zoltan Vass see himself after retirement, on a beach or still working? What is your end game?
So it's a good question. So when it comes to retirement, for me, it's really important that our mind, that we don't stop learning. So like
Mm.
constantly learning, it's really important.
Yeah.
And for me, really, it's about helping people and unlock people's potential. That's something that really, that drives me as well,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about just to help people to become better, and I would say that's the end goal,
Mm-hmm.
and shape the future of remote and flexible working and have positive impact on the society. So I would say this is the end game.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to retire and just watch telly, 8 hours a day. So that's I no, that's not me. So I'm still keeping myself active,
Yeah.
help people, share and connect. So it's just keep things moving. So
Yeah, keep things moving. That's really
yes,
nice. That's really
exactly.
nice. So, thank you so much, Zoltan, for your time. I'm highly obliged that you have given us this time, and your advice and your tips and your life lessons are something very remarkable. I think our listeners would love and fall in love with your interview. So, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have enjoyed this interview well as well.
Oh, indeed. Thank you very much for your time and for the opportunity, because it was really great to connect with you guys and have this conversation. I really enjoyed all the questions, and it's
Mm,
great. So I really encourage people to get out there,
mm,
learn, connect with people, join Tech London
mhm.
Advocates, join our
Yeah.
group about remote working, and just keep learning.
How do you like this whole podcast thing?
It's really good. I mean, all these questions and everything that we are talking about, it touches me as well, because it helps me to wrap up so many things from my
Yeah.
past, and it's great. So I love it. It's
Yeah.
really good. So thank you for
And
the
I would
opportunity.
love that, if you just share our message, and if you just suggest some of the people, you must know some of the great
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
your mentors, to come over and have an interview with us as well.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be great. So thank you so much, Zoltan. Take care. So and this is me, everybody. This is me, Humaira Anwar. We are signing off from this interview. Thank you, Zoltan, and thank you everybody so for watching it and for listening it. Take care. Bye bye.
thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.